As the prophet of esports, I rely on trustworthy and meaningful data every day. Data from our research partner YouGov offers the most complete view of esports fans and gamers in the world, providing context to who they are, what they think, the brands they buy, and things they do. YouGov's connected insights and research services inform strategy at every level. If you're a team, a brand, agency, or rights holder, you should be talking with YouGov. Their partners measure and maximize ROI and are telling compelling stories with data. Visit yougov.com/gaming-esports to learn more.
Owen says people who buy the Switch will also buy the deck for different reasons. Switch is for the large exclusive library and the deck is for serious gaming on the go. I mean, do you guys buy that that will be the delimiter? Like, does this kill the Switch non-exclusive business? No one's going to buy, I'm trying to think of a good example.
Like that. Although having said that, there's a massive install base. So like there is still an incentive for people to put third parties were very rarely putting stuff on the Switch anyway. This could hamper that, but there is still a big install base. So you probably will see some big titles be ported to it to the extent that it's easy, but I will buy that way more than I will buy, Nintendo's dead or the Switch is dead. I do think this limits the reason why a third party would put a game like Apex on the Switch.
Does that mean you think you'll see developers stopping, like won't even bother porting games to the Switch? Like we'll see even fewer and fewer as a consequence? Like, are we taking this to its logical conclusion and Nintendo becomes totally like, what do you call it? Like not reclusive, but like walled in with its own hardware and its own software and no one even bothers developing for it.
That's kind of what it is already. Right?
That's true. Yeah,
it's true.
Wani says, because I would definitely play LA Noire on the Steam Deck. I mean, I'm telling you, people I think are going to rediscover their libraries, their Steam libraries because of the Steam Deck, I think.
Animal Crossing and Pokemon can't save Nintendo.
I want to just push back on that, Paul. Like,
yes, Jimmy, yes. Did you hear that?
Animal Crossing and Pokemon, and then Jeff.
He said anime and Pokemon and Animal Crossing can't save Nintendo. I agree, can't forever. Can't forever.
That was a business model 20 years ago, right? You want exclusive titles, you want long franchises that you can just milk the IP. But what kids want today is free to play and a giant library of content for their like never ending, change in focus. The Steam Deck is giving them all these free PC games in the handheld format. I think they're going to put down the Switch. They're going to pick up the Steam Deck. And why would I go back? Why would I spend $300 to play 3 games? It's not going to happen.
The hardcore gamers are trying to bully us.
Yeah, we are trying. Maxi says, I don't think Steam Deck could beat out Switch either. Can't spell. I mean, I guess it depends how hardcore of a Nintendo fan you are. But Kevin says, I hate being on Jeff's side too. I mean, no one
bone to pick about that.
No one likes it, Kevin. You feel a little dirty, I
mean, it must be tough being right? Like you must feel bad being right.
Kevin says every Mario Party is a smash hit. Yeah.
See what you did there.
That is clever. That's true. Owen says nostalgia is a hell of a drug, Paul. Yes, but I do think there is a point where this wears off, right? Like, I don't know how long nostalgia can carry a franchise.
I know, but they create future
like I was a huge Nintendo fan. I loved Mario. I love Nintendo games, but like I wouldn't play one today. Like it's kind of like, and I own a Switch.
But like empirically, the data seems to show. I mean, it's been like 30 years, and people are still like every one of these games.
Okay, but Nintendo's not
30 million copies. Like,
is Nintendo the growth story you think it could be?
No.
Okay.
That's a separate issue.
Okay. Owen says I'm with Kevin. Odyssey was so good. Okay, Owen and Kevin and Jeff, you guys can go have your own little thing. Chris says Mario, Pokemon, and Zelda are the biggest franchises ever. That's enough to stave off the hardcore PC nerds propagating the Steam Deck. Chris, the question for you is how long? How long?
I think that they create a whole new generation of nostalgia every time they release a game.
Maybe. I don't know. Again, the question I have for Chad is how long does that last? Chris says, Kevin with quote of the day. Owen says, I think in places like Japan where gaming on the go is very popular, I wonder if it will be one of the best markets for the deck. Thoughts? No question. I think any commuter culture, the Steam Deck's going to be massive, right? Anywhere where people have commutes, spend time on subways, trains. So Japan, no question. Although Japan will face the sort of the toughest resistance from Nintendo fans, right?
Mm-hmm. Not just commuter cultures, Paul, but also mobile cultures, like you were saying, right? Like mobile being the gateway drug. Steam just created an entire new category of users that didn't know they needed that product, because if they want to game on their phone, maybe they game on the Steam Deck instead. And then that exposes them to a library of content where they're going to want to go PC anyways, right? So it's kind of, it's forcing that additional sale. So I think mobile cultures, not just commuter cultures, particularly by mobile, I mean like mobile phone gamers, like we had said.
And you guys remember we had this whole debate, remember about, I think it was like Qualcomm who said they might do some like mobile console hardware or whatever, right? Like high-end mobile gaming. Like I think the Steam Deck sort of disintermediates that. Right, like I think it fills that need.
100%.
Gary says, I think you can plug in mouse and keyboard to the Steam Deck. Not sure that was just a quick Google search. That would be pretty awesome.
Paul's gonna lose.
I would have a whole mobile setup in that
And like a little tiny screen.
How many people
with an external monitor? Come on, Jimmy.
Okay. I don't know.
I'm sorry. How many people are traveling around with a keyboard, a mouse, a monitor?
I do.
Yeah.
Multiple.
I've seen this in action.
Xbox also has that portable kit. Haven't you seen the briefcase with like the monitor built into the flap? And you have like your Xbox. I was this close to getting one, and then I just went PC and got a laptop.
Chris says, is there a Steam Land anywhere or just a Nintendo Land? All right, Chris. Okay. We get it. I mean, let me put this back on Chris, because I know the answer if I ask myself this. Have you spent more money on Nintendo or on Steam? Because I know by far I've spent more money on Steam. I mean, there's like 200 something games in my Steam library.
I'd also say there's a Star Wars land, there's a Harry Potter land, there's all these IP lands, and all of those games are available on Steam. So like, I'll raise you one.
He says, I honestly have never seen this heated debate. I mean, Wani, it's because they're right here.
So.
And because I get kicks under the table, which you don't see.
On the shoulder here.
Here's a question for you guys. Valve's a private company, right?
Yeah.
If you had to buy one right now, which one would you buy? And which one do you think is worth more currently?
What are the choices?
Sorry, Valve and Nintendo. I thought that was obvious.
No, I mean, for me, that's a no-brainer.
I think it's also, I would also buy Valve.
Hold on.
Even though I think.
Can I just clarify before you answer, Jimmy?
Yeah.
Is the assumption that we would operate either one as we see fit, or they have to continue to operate as they always have?
You may answer the question as you interpret it.
Sorry, go ahead, Jimmy. I wanted to clarify, maybe thinking it would change your answer.
No question I would buy Valve. I think Nintendo is probably worth more, but I think Valve has greater potential long term. And honestly, I don't think it's worth that much more either. Like you said, Valve is private, but just look at what's on the Steam store. Like, it's not a competition. You're talking about like the smallest content library that they've done a great job monetizing, but absolutely zero innovation, zero esports or expanding the brand, and just really relying on nostalgia. Yes, doing a great job milking that cow. It's going to dry up. Steam will never dry up.
I agree. I could make a ton more money with Valve. If I said I could own either one and operate it as I see fit. With Valve, I have hardware as well, so I'm matched there. I would argue I have a VR presence, which could be the future. I have marquee titles that among gamers, I think like a Counter-Strike or a Dota is as important as a Mario or a Zelda and can be monetized, just as easily. I just think you've got way more there that appeals to a larger audience and more potential for the future. I don't know.
I guess the rebuttal I would have is that Valve has not put out a hit game in 20 years, probably. So they do have some hits still.
Again, I said if I'm running it.
Fair. Okay, take me away if Paul runs the company. So okay. I'll buy any company that Paul runs.
Yeah, same.
Take that aside. Valve has not put out a hit game in since Counter-Strike. Nintendo puts out games that sell tens of millions of units every year. They have way better franchises historically, and they have a real competitive advantage, right? These franchises are long lasting. I think with Valve, Steam has a lot of competition, right? Whatever we feel about Epic, they have a massive competitor throwing hundreds of millions of dollars at beating them. They seem to be missing this whole Web3 trend, which I think in PC gaming, if you don't have a Web3 strategy and you're a PC gaming company, I kind of think you are missing the boat a little bit. And if nothing else, what Epic has done, even if it's not taking away customers, it is compressing the amount that these people can charge, right? Epic lowered the fees to 12%, and I think Valve had to lower from 30% to 20 or 25. So you're in a little bit of a commoditized business, and you're losing your competitive advantage and potentially missing the next wave here. Nintendo is a safer play. If Paul's running Valve, I'd probably buy Valve, but I don't know. It feels to me like Valve's best days were probably 10, 15 years ago.